Guitar Boss Radio, coming to you now.
Welcome to the Guitar Boss Radio podcast with Richard Constable and Josh Gillis. .com.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's going on in your world, Josh, this week?
Oh man, well, it is a little over 9 a.m. over here in North Mississippi, here in the States, and it's going good, man. I had three new students this week that are trying it out. We have a local air base nearby, and one is a military guy coming today at 3:30 or 1:30, and so that'll be fun. It'll be I think my first pilot that I'm gonna teach. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
and maybe if I'm lucky, he can take me up in a plane later or something. I don't know. But other than that, man, some big things happening in my own studio here. So I've just adapted a new group format to doing lessons. So I've been doing privates this whole time, and I have done groups, but only groups of like two, like a brother, sister, or father, son, or two good buddies or whatever. But now I'm really expanding the groups to 3, 4, maybe up to 5 students. And that kind of thing. So that's been kicking in, going good so far. I just started a new curriculum that is made for groups. That's been a lot of fun. And other than that, that's been the big thing. Oh, and a new location. So I've been in my little, I renovated my pool house into a studio, and
nice.
It's only like 120 square feet of teachable space. So it's really small.
Yeah.
But I found a place across town that a local theater. So that I'm one of 3 cities that are close to each other. We're called the Tri-Cities. They call it the Golden Triangle.
The Tri-State area.
The Tri-State area down here, and they call it the Golden Triangle. And so the theater department is called the Golden Triangle Theater. So anyway, they rented a building downtown. It's an old church that had moved location. So they had this building, gorgeous like church building that had been there since the early 1900s, and they just relocated across town. So the building's been vacant and for, I don't know, like a year or something, and they just sold it. And so this guy that sold it is trying to rent out the space, like the old church office space may become like lawyer space or something if you need the space downtown. The very bottom of the top floor, they renovated to an event space, so you can host an event and that kind of thing. The bottom floor, they were still trying to rent out. And so the Golden Triangle Theater rented out the whole bottom floor pretty much. And since I'm buddies with the director, and he's actually one of my students,
Nice.
which is crazy because he knows way more music theory. He's actually a professor, Dr. Torbert, and but he just wants to learn guitar. He's a voice and a piano professor, basically.
Yeah.
But he wants to learn guitar, so I'm teaching him guitar. So, but anyway, he's like, "Hey, man, would you be interested in like sub-renting out one of our rooms? That would help us with our rent, and we're not using them right now anyway." I was like, "Man, that sounds great." And it's very, very reasonable. It was like $200 US. And I don't have like overhead with utilities. I'm kind of just lumped in there. And so I got my buddy Braden, who records with me at my studio, and he's splitting that with me. So now it's only $100. And then because I teach Garrett guitar, he pays me $100 a month. So basically I'm there rent free. So it's worked out really well. But anyway, a little side note, sometimes you just got to get creative, man. Take advantage of opportunities, figure out a way how to to make it work, right? So that just happened this week. Like Monday was my first group lesson there at the new facility. Man, it was a lot of fun. These kids with the new curriculum, they really enjoyed it. They were getting into it. I still don't know exactly what I'm doing with this group format. I'm very green to it. I'm learning it. So I'm going through some growing pains, and there's a lot of stuff I don't know, but overall, they seem to be enjoying it. So I had 2 group lessons back to back on Monday. It's Wednesday here now. So I've got 1 or 2 groups this afternoon. So let's just cross our fingers they went as good as the ones on Monday. So that is what I'm up to this week, man. What about you?
Well, just thinking about what you just said about being creative, it's definitely so true, and networking is key as well. Sometimes the dominoes do just fall in the right order, but at the end of the day, you've put yourself forward as approachable, kind, good teacher, that someone has actually offered you a space that happens to be perfect for you. So the fact that they like you and they get on with you, and they realize that you you know, you want a place to grow in. That networking and that, you know, good teaching has produced some fruit. You know, you planted those seeds, you got the fruit. So that's, and I haven't done this very well, to be honest, up until now, but something that I really need to buckle down on is call all the local music shops, call all the local other teachers, piano teachers, singing teachers, any other teacher who's in the area, and network with them, so that if anyone wants to learn guitar, 'cause sometimes I get people calling me and they're like, oh, do you teach piano? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, do you know anyone who teaches piano? And then I should be able to say, yeah, whoever down the road. But I always just say, Google it and find someone really close to you or whatever to fit your price and, you know, this, that, and the other. But if I knew all the musicians in my area, if I knew all the guitar teachers, because sometimes I'm teaching someone and they just want to do like classical guitar, and I don't teach classical specifically, so I could just pass them on to them. So that, you know, that's a really important thing to be doing, really. And we should both have a spreadsheet. Everyone should have a spreadsheet of all your contacts in the local area. So that's something I need to be doing over this August period, the summer lowdown, if you can call it. People are away.
Yeah, dude, that's a good point, man. I'll just interject real quick because it made me think. Someone had asked me, "Hey, Josh, do you know who fixes or tunes pianos around here?" I'm thinking to myself, "I'm a guitar guy, but like, no." But I didn't say no. I said, "Let me call someone real quick. I'll find out." Like, but being that kind of network, because I'm not a good networker at all. Like, I'm an introvert. Like, I don't do a very good job of that. But I'm trying, like you, I'm trying to grow in that area. So I realized that, man, I don't have to be like, I don't have to know everything, but as long as I know someone who knows something, right? And
Yeah,
if you start becoming that funnel that people go through, then people are going to come more to you often and refer you more often because they know, like, and trust you because, man, you're just helping them. So I had a, someone had asked me that. So I found out the contacts. I texted another piano teacher. I was like, hey, do you know anyone who fixes piano? She was like, oh, yeah, here's 2 numbers, right? So now I got the contacts. Then I shared it with my buddy Garrett I was telling you about, and I asked him. He's like, "Oh yeah, that one's good. That other one I've never used, but they might be good." So then I kind of got some validation. I texted the other person back. Okay, here's who you need to do. And next thing I know, like just 2 days ago, I got another parent. You know, hey Josh, you know who tunes pianos? I'm like, yes, I do. Bam, sent the contact. And so, but
yeah,
I'm starting to establish myself, hopefully, as like not like the music guy, but at least someone who knows some things about the music in the area and can help people out. So you make yourself more, I don't know what the word is, like not needed, but just like available to help people and that kind of
yeah.
thing. So yeah.
Yeah, and taking it even one step further, you could have a whole page on your site, which could be, you could say it's hidden from the general public. You don't want them to get lost in on your website. You just want them to book guitar lessons. But you could have a site which just has like a list, your network list. So it's like piano tutors, teachers, whatever. And then whenever someone says, oh, do you need a piano tuner? You just go, bing, it's on my site. Bang, done.
Yep.
And then, you
Yeah,
know,
that's a great idea.
yeah. So I remember Steve Larson, he had almost like an affiliate site with everything that he uses. So his the stuff he uses for podcasting, stuff he uses for this, that, and the other. And it just has affiliate links. So anyone who needs the stuff that he has, then he can just ping it over to them. And it makes a huge difference, I think. Just having that organized data is the key, isn't it? That's why people come to us as guitar teachers, because we can give them organized lessons, organized structure. We can give them organized books that have been put together so they can follow a roadmap from A to B. All about those frameworks, organized data. I mean, even if you took 100 YouTube videos, and you know, YouTube is free, you can access any video anytime. But if you collated, you know, all the best videos on a subject, let's just say arpeggios, and you said this is the 100 best arpeggio videos on YouTube or whatever, and you collate them all together, then that's something that's really powerful.
It is, man. Organized data. I'll kind of go off that if you don't mind, because that just made me think. Man, what did you say that just stuck out to me, man, about the organized data thing? Oh yeah, when I first started teaching, I only had like 3 or 4 students consistently. It was part time, and I, I learned guitar by ear, so that's honestly how I teach. I never followed a bunch of method books. Can barely read music. Like, it sounds stupid as a guitar teacher to say, but I tell everybody that up front. Like, look, I don't have a music degree. I learn by ear. I know some basic stuff. That's why I classify myself as a beginner teacher. I'm just really good at getting students interested in going. When they get to a certain point, man, I'm very willing to pass them off to someone who wants to take them down the journey of becoming an actual musician, like go to college or whatever. But organized information is super important. That's one of my big growing moments this year has been. You can get by teaching 3 or 4 students week to week, kind of make it up as you go, fit their needs, like learn a certain song, dive into it. But you cannot do that for 20 people, like each doing something different. It is super chaotic, and you're a recipe for disaster. So the big thing was earlier this year, I might have heard it from you, I started with a curriculum called Let's Rock. And that was my first step in getting some type of organized data, like you're talking about, and a plan and a roadmap. And so that was a big stress reliever. Now that I'm moving more toward groups, I've swapped curriculums to a group friendly curriculum. And that again, it's very stressful right now because I'm in the middle of transferring my whole business model, honestly. But I know 2, 3, 4 months down the road, this is going to be smooth sailing because now we have a clear plan, a clear way to go all the way through. So anyway, organized data, man, definitely. If you're in the beginning stages, it's not as big a deal like your first few students, but go ahead and start early and get some type of curriculum, get on track.
Yeah, exactly. And the school systems use it. They have a framework to work from, and they know at the start of the year they're going to start here, and at the end of the year they're going to finish there. And if they didn't have that, then they would have to make it up on the spot, or make their own. So right, yeah, so that went off left and right, but yeah, that was interesting. So we'll end it there for this show. Thanks for listening, guys, and over and out. And I'll just try and figure out how to stop this. I don't even know if this is recording.
I think it is. It has a little recording thing.
That's it. Stop.